Been a couple days. I was supposed to get back on Monday and Tuesday. I did not, however. Uh, I slept in a lot, kind of chilled out, took it easy. Um, I've been getting weird sleeping issues. Like, just can't seem to get enough sleep. It's hard for me to get to sleep. Hard for me to get sleep when I do. It's weird, but it happens. I don't think I've been cheating too much. I don't think I've like. I just think I've been sleeping weird. Maybe partaking a little bit too much of the late night entertainment. Not to sound dirty. Didn't mean to make that sound dirty. Literally entertaining myself with the streaming movies and such. I tried really hard. Well, I'll talk about that in a second. Wait till folks start rolling in here, and then we can actually talk about it, because there are other people that may want to discuss it as well. But yeah, having the streaming services. How many streaming services do you have? A good question for our audience, for the crowd coming in tonight. Um, if you are watching, I'm sexy and you know it. Yeah, you are. Um, if you're watching, it's on the Haps app or Facebook Live or Twitter Live or Twitch or YouTube. No matter where you're watching, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate it. And if you haven't as of yet, if somebody's just rolling in for the first time, follow me if you haven't followed me. Share the broadcast with your friends. Always nice to make new friends. 7 streaming services, really. Uh, Subscribe, or now there are some times where you could get a deal on them, like with Sprint. When I had Sprint, uh, or when I signed up for Sprint, new contract, they had a deal with Hulu, but um, well, I don't know that it was a deal really. I mean, maybe it was like $1 off or something like that, but I think they just like tacked that on to the. I don't know. I kind of feel like, because I jumped on Hulu last night, and it was like $12.99 a month for no ads. It just seemed really expensive for me. But uh, they said Hulu. Now, okay, so Hulu with ads on Sprint, using Sprint. They said it was included as part of the Sprint benefit, like, a little extra. But I don't see how that's an extra. I don't see that's a benefit. YouTube Live, Netflix, Hulu, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, HBO Max, and Showtime. Do you have like the bundle thing? The Hulu, ESPN, and Disney. I heard that's a combo thing. Do you have that? YouTube Live, I honestly couldn't see a use for having YouTube Live other than skipping the ads, which Verizon gives you Hulu and Disney Plus and ESPN for free. That one is bundled. Nice. Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN for free? Hmm. I should check with T-Mobile, see if they can match that. Because I know I can get Hulu. But like I said, that's the thing, is that Hulu with ads apparently is $6. I'm like, why would you? If you have ads, wouldn't that pay for the thing? I don't know. It's weird. YouTube's good for sports and local TV. Oh, I definitely have Disney Plus. I had HBO Max, so I let that one run out. I got Amazon Prime Video, which I really dig. I'm not a fan of Hulu. I just prefer Netflix. I have Netflix. I think that's it. Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime. But the reason why I got Amazon Prime is because I can subscribe to a Twitch channel with Prime, Twitch Prime, um, which I did for Critical Role for the longest time. I'm not really up on the Critical Role like I was, so I don't really watch that live anymore. My Thursday nights are usually time to go to bed because I got to get up on Friday morning to work. Um, so I'm not as avid hardcore watcher as I was for the first two seasons. Not that it's bad. Critical Role is still fantastic. Just I'm not into it as hardcore as I was. I think also the fact that used to watching Critical Role used to itch that RPG. Used to scratch that RPG itch. That's the phrase I was looking for. Man, I gotta get my sleep right. It's doing the brain thing again. I parked here. I'm meeting Ben and Nicole for Nicole's birthday here at a restaurant, and so I pulled in a little bit early so I could talk to you guys. And I sort of like chilled out, closed my eyes for a little bit, and just kind of nodded off. So I'm still shaking the cobwebs from that. Um, Naps are great. I'm just not utilizing them as much as I used to. But yeah, Critical Role used to scratch that RPG itch, and now it's like, nope, not good enough, not anymore. I'm starting to like I want to start doing a weekly thing. So might even get to do so every Thursday. There's a campaign available for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. Every Monday, or possibly every Monday coming up, I might get into a Powered by the Apocalypse session. This guy said he was interested, but he's got to run it over with the rest of the guys and see what they say. But I don't know if any of them want to play. We're definitely still not out of the woods with the COVID thing because everyone's like, we get it because we get online and we talk, and he says, I gotta see if the guys want to get back together live again, or if we're gonna do a Zoom call if they want to play again. So I was like, that trepidation is, it's going to be there for a while, for a couple more years, hopefully. Or, I mean, let me ask you guys, do you think that this is it? Like, this is what life is now? Do people want to get together live, or like, is that always going to be a thing? Well, I got to see if they want to get together. If we're worried about, like, is there always going to be some sort of scare? It would be sad, but it would also be understandable if that was the case. That's just the way it is now. There's always something floating around. Although I can't recall the last time one of the apps on my phone is a weather app, and I think it's connected to weather.com. I think so. And one of the things, whenever I would hit that, like it would show on, like with the time, it would do temperature as well, like the general weather thing. Um, and if you tapped on it, it would let you know like the 10-day forecast and stuff on the website. And I remember there being a spot on the website that said number of COVID cases, and it would switch between Tennessee and the United States, like the according to some source. I don't know, but I don't see that as much anymore. So I wonder if that's like if that's a concern anymore. If anyone's doing the death toll, the number of cases. Oh, we had a little bit of a burp there. Now we just got 3 people typing. COVID would be much scarier if we turned into zombies when we died. COVID isn't a thing now that Russia bombed Ukraine. Right? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the new thing everyone's talking about, right? Old news. Not a good sexy headline like war. War and plague. Two of the greatest hits. Actually, war, plague, and death. Do we have any famine? Can food shortages? Famine. Done. Oi. Well, all right. Enough about that shit. Um, what next? Something fun, please. Fuck. Um, so I talked about my role playing games. I feel like I've been talking a lot about role playing games lately. I'm just kind of excited to do something social. Um, hmm. In other news, um, streaming services. There we go. That's what I was talking about. So I have Disney Plus for all the Marvel stuff, but there hasn't been a lot of Marvel stuff, so I haven't really been utilizing that. I think it's a much better deal if you get the annual subscription than to get the monthly subscription. Even though, because I just thought that would be a much better deal because they're gonna come out with content and they're gonna keep pumping it out. So maybe one thing a month, maybe a big deal. That would justify the monthly expense, and they're doing it steadily enough that there would be a month that I wouldn't want to get Disney Plus. So, but I haven't come across that very much. I haven't really jumped on Disney a lot. Uh, well, you know what? Now I say that, but Book of Boba Fett was all right, and I think they said that they already filmed the new, like they already filmed Mandalorian season 2, and they're filming season 3 now. So the next season of Mandalorian should be coming out soon. And I can't remember the next series on Marvel. So much though, Moon Knight and She-Hulk and all that stuff. Is Moon Knight the next one? I think so. So much. Good for Oscar Isaac, by the way, for getting that work. Pretty cool. I remember there was an interview, and I don't know this, I don't remember the source, but there was an interview that had Pedro Pascal and I think it was Esquire, Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaac hanging out together. And it was like pretty neat. Good for them. Man, Ben, get them midterms done. Jeez, I can't wait for Ben. We can get to podcasting, and this will be like so much easier. I feel like my brain doesn't have to do as much work when Ben and I are both on the mic, and we can riff. It adds so much to the conversation. Ben and I have been having phone conversations regarding the podcast, regarding uh, content creation coming soon. I feel like it's on the horizon. Looking forward to that. In fact, I'm sure he's going to want to talk a little bit about it when we sit down for dinner, but I don't want to bore Nicole very much. It's her day. Damn it. Good things. Good things coming. So is that it? Marcus and Ian just hanging out. Nobody's really saying a lot. I hope that if we do things on a consistent basis, and I realize that's part of this, the lack of audience is also because I'm not consistent with my broadcast. But if we do a Wednesday evening on a weekly basis, you're driving. Okay, I got you. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me though. Don't want to seem like I'm not appreciative. I am appreciative. Um, I think a Wednesday evening show on a weekly basis. Ben and I doing the podcast, but also recording it on putting it, streaming it, I should say, on Haps as I do this. Although I got to get on Twitch on my laptop and fix a few things because it puts me in the category of podcasts, and I don't know if I want. Well, I mean, now it's just chatting. I think what I'm doing right now, my usual broadcast like this, would be considered just chatting, not a formal show. But the texting and driving equals ticket. You got me covered. Oh no! Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No need to explain it to me. I get it. Um, where was I? Yeah, this would be considered the category of just chatting. And I don't know. I don't necessarily know which category I'd find more exposure in. Like what category more people would frequent. But at the added production quality of it, like making it a legitimate podcast, which I'm super excited about. Uh, like just to nerd out and get into that again. Segments and ad reads and bumper music and Ben and I get to nerd out about the production aspect of podcasts, about the live audience interaction. Um, then that would absolutely warrant us staying in podcasts and talk shows type situation. So that's cool. Can I share it right now while we're talking? I wish I could do that. I wish I could send. What's that? What's that button? Multi-streaming social sharing. Let's do that. Let me try that. Untitled. Nope. Discord. Gmail. Bacon Readers. That's Reddit. Twitter. I could send it on Twitter, but I don't think I have enough people on Twitter. Yeah, see, I just don't have that covered yet. That's a tough spot to be in. I'm not consistent enough that I can, really draw a crowd, because I really don't have that much to discuss other than checking up with folks and seeing how everybody's doing. I don't have like a lot of. I just don't think me, with my usual rambling, is entertaining enough to draw a crowd. I'll do it, and whoever happens to be available comes in, and we say, hey, I mean, it's enjoyable for me. But for just me to go on and on and on about whatever I want to talk about doesn't seem to be as interesting as something significant like Ben in the room, us being microphoned with a topic, and the like that would absolutely be a podcast. I mean, content worthy of a podcast. And then the addition of the voices in the chat, like answering the occasional question, responding to the occasional comment. I mean, that seems substantial to me. I mean, I think me and anybody, adding one more person to the mix makes it so worthwhile. And Ben and I share so many of the same. We share so many of the same interests, but we also have like the same mindset when it comes to like mixing what's important, getting to the point, um, the substance part. Let's put it that way. Getting to the substance, getting to the meat of the thing. What else have I talked about? Goofing off on Hero Forge, making the miniatures. I'm not really a miniatures type of guy when it comes to gaming, but I understand their usefulness, and it's kind of a neat little thing to add. It's kind of like, you can have digital dice on your phone that's effective. So you wouldn't need to carry a lot with you. Like if I have my phone with my stylus, I can take notes. I can, I have my character sheets on my D&D Beyond app. I have the digital dice as well. The added benefit of that interacting with the character sheet that I can roll whatever rolls and the modifiers get added in as well. Like having that aspect is pretty cool also. So I don't need a lot of stuff, but having actual dice, like having that available adds something to which is good to know when you're playing tabletop role playing games, especially if I'm interested in developing a role playing game. It's good to know that having physical dice on you, like having certain gaming tools, makes the game feel different. Um, I enjoy the D&D Beyond app, but I can understand why someone may just want to use a character sheet. Having the dice is cool. Having all the modifiers and stuff added in is cool, but I obviously know the good the good feeling of rolling physical dice. Um, which, like I said, it's reassuring as a developing a role playing game to know that. I just saw the most adorable German Shepherd pup. Where is he at? This guy's walking his dog without a leash, but the dog seems to be really well behaved. There he is. Oh, beautiful dog. I love dogs. One day, Melvin. I've rarely seen a poorly behaved Boston Terrier. That dog seemed neat because, like I said, you can keep off. Like having a dog like that, that's an adventurer's dog right there. He stays nearby. He doesn't make a lot of noise. He doesn't bark at people. He doesn't get aggressive. A dog to adventure with, which I suppose you like. Oh, that was something I thought of the other day. So, Boston Terriers are a certain breed of animal. They have short noses, so they sometimes they have breathing problems. Sometimes they can be chonkers. Um, they're very affectionate. They love to be loved. They love to be nearby. So like for my adventuring in the van, a Boston Terrier would be a great fit for me. But um, one of the things that I wanted to do with one of my characters, when looking up rolling up characters, they have certain things that you can get. Uh, for those that may not be familiar with role playing games or Dungeons and Dragons specifically, there are certain things that you could get at certain levels, certain features unlock for one's character. Um, Usually once every like 4 levels or something like that. Where you can increase an ability score, like increase your strength by 1, increase your dexterity by 1, your intelligence by 1, whatever. But you could also get a thing called a feat, which is a special ability that adds um, a particular flavor to your character. Like if you're a fighter and you get to level 4, depending on the race and all that stuff, but let's just assume that for most characters, from level 4, you have the option of getting a feat, and you can get something like alert, like you can't be surprised if you're conscious, your initiative goes up, um, or if you're a fighter and you're just basically a hand-to-hand type of dude, at that point you could get spells of a certain class without having to go multi-class. You could just get the ability to cast a couple basic spells. Like you could take was it a ritual caster, which is you need the spell components and you need to take like 10 minutes or so, however long the spell costs. But as long as you have the spell on you written down somewhere, you can um, you can sit and concentrate and go through the ritual to cast the spell, and then you can pick two spells that could come in handy, and you don't have to worry about having any spell points or spell slots or any, like I said, multi-classing in any particular other class or whatever. So one of the things I wanted to do was find familiar. Are the gas prices also high in the U.S.? Oh yeah, yes, absolutely. Depending on where you go, like $5 or shit like that. Like yeah, it's kind of bad. Um, so with one of the characters that I have is a thief, and I wanted to do some interesting things with the thief. When you're a thief, you can remove yourself from, like they call it, disengage from an enemy without them taking a swipe at you as you're trying to get away. You can move around, like depending on what you do, you can jump a little higher, move a little